times when I rhyme and when the MCs come in my face, I like bass. Cause I back and forth with the clubs. Cause I had to tell ya, nigga, cause I keep it on the thrills. Rest of 19116 Air over Farmer Boulevard. What up, man? And MC's from Brooklyn. Yeah, MC. Shit, cooking. Man, that's on the court and I can't be beat. Yo, what's the second with the boots on your feet? Got the temple on the door.
Welcome to Beer and a Shot with the Butcher. Sports talk straight from New Jersey with no bullshit. I'm hunkered down in the bunker, undisclosed location, New Jersey, Lake Hopatcon, here with the Knicks Talk Trio. JC, B-side, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling good.
I'm feeling real good. You know, if there's one thing I hate more than a New Jersey net, it's a Brooklyn net. You guys feeling me on that?
Just there's one New York team. There's one. That's it.
I'd rep them more if they were here in Jersey with us. They weren't here when I started out. They weren't here. Now that I'm still here, the Knicks have been with me the whole time. I bleed the blue and orange. I bleed the blue and orange. I don't know how you could be a Brooklyn transplant fan or a Nets fan.
You're awful.
You know, if you're an ABA historian or something like that, maybe I get it.
And you know you're not.
You're just whack. You just want to wear a black and white jersey. It's hard to coordinate blue and orange. True?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and you know what? Even being from New Jersey, the Nets, they gave up on the state. We gave up on them a long time ago. They haven't had any fans in a long
since
time.
Jason Kidd left.
Well, you know, they had that run of 4 teams to the finals, and I think I remember JC yourself pretty much jumping ship on the Knicks.
Jumping ship is a very ridiculous statement to make.
Well, you know, I just had to call you out.
I would watch both games. I enjoyed them, and it was good basketball to watch.
Listen, me and you,
it's my home state,
combed many a draft and many a free agent class over the summers with those tough Clarence Weatherspoon teams, just wishing we could get a sniff of some other team's backup center. So I know you bleed blue and orange too. Let's talk about tonight's game. Knicks win. I think we saw a continuation of last night. Last night we played a subpar team. We beat them up, but we had a problem putting our foot on the throat. They were just so terrible, Philadelphia, that we beat them anyway. I saw some of the same problems in that game I mentioned in the last podcast with the outside shooting. We finished the first half tonight 8 out of 16 from the three-point line. We finished this team early. Against these worst teams, I made mention with the last game, we get to do more of the things we want to do. I think, Fish gets to have his ideal scenario and run his substitutions as he would ideally against a big team with bigs. And I think we saw that again tonight against a subpar team with the Nets, where he ran the starters in the rotation, the way he's starting to tighten it up. He only played 11 guys tonight, only 10 in the last game. I think you're seeing what the plan will be when we go to battle on most nights. Tonight we were able to pull the starters in the fourth quarter, so it was a real continuation from what we saw in Philly. Right at the right time. B-side, you were calling for that. You said pull the starters now, pull Melo now. And what a luxury, huh? What a luxury.
Or they get hurt. Pull them.
What a luxury. More athleticism and youth beating up the Nets tonight. I saw Derek Williams, a lot of breakaway stuff early. Saw Lance Thomas above the rim again. That guy's getting up.
That looks great.
Porzingis beating him up on the boards again. Swatzingis with a couple more blocks. Yeah. I saw Melo with a wide open 3 getting set up by Porzingis to open the second half. And then I saw him bust after a defensive play. Quick 5 points, up 29 points in the second half. The Porzingis-Melo combination, I think this boy's woken our guy up, and I think this guy's done a great job taking this boy under his wing. What do you think, guys?
I actually, I got to call a big 3 for us right now.
That's it.
And I don't want to, I got to call the offensive big 3.
Who's the Chris Bosh?
Just say his name. What's his name?
Who's the Chris Bosh
of
the big
Melo, 3? Porzingis, and our boy Afalo for our big 3. But I don't want to leave Lopez, because Lopez is our big guy on defense. But
who?
Follow Creed, baby.
Follow Creed.
It's showtime at the Apollo. I'm telling you, it's fucking beautiful to watch. Everybody was efficient tonight. It's always fun when the ball's dropping in. And we had 26 assists, 7 above our average for the year so far.
Wow,
the ball's moving,
stat.
and we're dropping shots.
Let me ask you something. Robin Lopez again, 30 minutes. We've talked about it. This front court rotation, 30 minutes a game for Melo, Porzingis, and Lopez. Now, Porzingis they took out early tonight. But you don't mind
minutes.
it. You don't mind it at all at 26 minutes.
He was still on the floor at the end of the second quarter with no foul trouble again tonight.
A little low on rebounds than usual.
Well, no,
only
he only
10.
played 26 minutes. He only played 26 minutes.
And he went 19 and 10. So, I mean, his efficiency is through the roof. Aflalo Creed.
Follow Creed, baby.
Let me say
you
this.
heard it here first, Follow.
Yep, which leads me to my next topic tonight, nicknames. And I think you've dropped yours there.
I did.
Our favorite nicknames, as you know, we have plenty of pet names for our favorite Knicks.
By the way, that's K-N-I-C-K names.
Puts Ingus, because he puts it in, is my personal favorite, and I'm going to drop another one tonight. Aflalo Creed, definitely one of the more beautiful scribblings to come off your palette.
Copyright Scotty B 2015.
And you've been dropping that since we signed him.
Yeah.
JC, favorite nickname. It could be somebody else's or it could be yours.
I got nothing for you right now on that. I
we'll come back.
the Apollo Creed. It's good, man. And
well, it's Aflalo Creed, actually. It's not Aaron Apollo.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm just letting you know.
We're picking up what you're putting down.
Apparently, the gases in the undisclosed bunker are getting to John Christie. He looks like Scotty B on the lost episode of Beer and a Shot with a Butcher.
Yeah.
Something else I want to talk about tonight, guys. What are we going to do?
John's giving Butcher the finger, by the way.
If you can't see right now, he's giving me one crooked-ass finger and one... JC, well, I can't promise I'm not going to use your name during the middle of it, and if they want to search the whole thing and find out what your name is, I guess they could. We all go by surnames here. It's Butcher, B-Side, and JC on the Butcher Baker station on YouTube. Look for Beer and a Shot with the Butcher and Butchered Radio call-ins. Guys, we're coming to a softer part of the schedule. I think,
thank God,
right? And I think this is this record, which is only 500 now.
Yeah,
I believe we broke 10
back.
and 10 with this game.
We're back, baby.
I think if you told Knicks fans we're on pace for a 41-win season at the beginning of the season, all of them except me would have been, real into that. I called us having 42. Now, we're only on pace to do that, but as we're getting into the softer underbelly of the Eastern Conference, I think we're seeing that there's a lot of wins to be had.
Now's the time.
We have a tough
to build
schedule
our
at the
cushion.
beginning.
Now's our time to build our cushion because it's going to get tough again. And by the way, nothing is promised. We still have to win these games just because the schedule's looking soft. Doesn't mean we're stacking W's. We got to go out and win these games.
No, and there's not much margin for an error. I mean, at 108.91 tonight, we closed they closed on us, after a 30-point cushion. Teams are going to pull up a little bit at the finish line, but we haven't been great in the fourth quarter. We had that terrible loss in Houston, and that got us off on a losing streak. I think against the better teams, there's no guarantees, but we are taking care of business against the teams we're supposed to take care of business against.
As soon as we took the starters out and the second unit came in, it got a little scary there, and then all of a sudden you saw Williams did a good job of keeping that around the 25-point lead into the second quarter.
When his energy is right, more than anyone in that second unit, sans maybe Galloway when he was hitting everything at the beginning of the season.
Galloway, a tough shooting night again.
But essentially, I find Williams more than anybody can be the one that makes that a dominant second unit. Serafin makes it a consistent second unit with what he does, and he might be the most consistent guy on that second unit. But I think, when Williams is humming, that's when teams can't run with us. They have to get their starters back out first. And
you watch a guy. I watched him take the ball up a couple times tonight. It's just like you got to appreciate that.
Yeah. We wanted to see more of him. Who do you want to see more of, JC? Who is it?
I mean,
could you
seeing
complain
everything
about
that I
the
want to
rotation
see? No, I think everything is great. I like what I'm seeing.
Me too.
The front court is awesome. You can't. What
Kyle
more could you ask for?
Kyle O'Quinn couldn't get on the floor tonight,
and that's
even
okay.
in
I'm
minutes.
glad that there's guys who can't get on the floor because it means other guys are stepping up and playing.
Right, and I look at Robin Lopez, who I think is a little rickety, and Serafin, who also hasn't been able to answer the bell a couple times already this season. I think O'Quinn's just going to get those minutes eventually de facto from injury, and I think he brings something different to the team. He was my personal favorite acquisition this offseason, and in the preseason he looked everything that you could want him to be. I think he got lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I'm happy that, Fish is narrowing down who he's going to play with. Yeah. He feels confident about it. There's a game plan. We're seeing a consistency in the rotation. And like I said, I think Lou Mundenson's going to make the floor as a hustle guy before O'Quinn's going to as a skill guy. But I think O'Quinn will get those 30 minutes in front of a Mundenson if there's an injury.
But, winning, like they say, it's a cliche, winning fixes everything. I mean,
Yes, it does.
When they were losing,
everything.
the front court was like, well, why aren't they playing O'Quinn? I felt that way. And now that they're winning, I'm not missing O'Quinn one bit. I'm okay. The front court looks good. That's what we want to see it. And it's going to develop across the year.
John,
but what's not
Don't be afraid
good?
to talk over him.
What's not looking good right now? If you were to look at this team and say, how do you want to go?
Plow forward with what you want to say.
Well, I want to let him go, and then I'm going to give him a compliment.
How do you want to go forward to the next level with this team? What's the position that you think? It's not front court. It's not center. There's one position on this. There's two positions. It's the guard. It's the back court. If you're good, they're doing fine. But if you want to take it to the next level and make it,
Jose Calderon can't be the starter on this team if we want to be in the upper class of the NBA.
I'm sorry, but right now I'm starting to sway the other way. I know we do a stat of the night.
He's become tolerable.
I'm gonna do an early stat of the night.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, I'll tell you if it's the stat of the night.
Well, no, I'm going to do an early precursor.
Drop any stat you want.
Gonna be
I'm not going to ask you for a stat of the night. You guys are going to drop stats and I'll tell you when it's the stat of the night.
This to me I find extremely interesting, and it comes at the end of a very good stretch of games for Calderon. 10 assists, and of course it's easy to get 10 assists when everybody's dropping buckets, but the guy's fucking playing great. And I'm, he's a veteran.
Yeah, and he also had a huge amount of points tonight, too. What's his points line?
4, I'm guessing?
I was asked to not have my phone out during this segment, so I don't.
All right, well, I'll just tell you. Jose Calderon, he scored 1 point.
He didn't have to score. He's fucking moving the ball.
I'll take his 1 point if there's going to be 10 assists every time, and I'll tell you what.
It's still funny. How can you get just 1 point?
I don't think it matters. How many?
It's
how
not
many
easy to get 1 point.
And what's weird is it wasn't even a foul shot. It was an actual half a basket.
But I'll tell you what, as long as he's playing the way he has the last couple of weeks.
Listen, he's not the liability he was at the beginning of the season.
No.
And this is probably the apex of what he can do, which means if someone could take a bite or a sniff on him and you could dump him for anything, even if you have to drop a kid to get rid of him, I'd do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, his contract is up at the end of the year. No, am I remembering that right?
He's got a year after this year. He's at 7.5 for this year and 7.5 for next year. You're going to have to drop talent to trade him.
Listen, he's doing fine, and listen, we all know he can take it on the chin, right? We saw that tonight.
He took that nice shot.
Well, he can take it on the upper lip. He looks like a Simpson.
Grandpa Simpson, to be specific.
They all have big upper lips.
But
it's not really the lip; it's the vestibule, the space between the lip and the nose.
It's still part of your
very,
lip.
very high.
I think the space between your mouth and your nose is pretty much your lip.
When we were kids and people used to rip on the way Patrick Ewing looked, I'd be like, "That's all you got? The man's out there fucking rebounding, blocking shots, and that's all you got is talk about."
Jose Calderon's a good-looking man. That's why I'm making fun of him. Patrick Ewing, I mean, my favorite player ever in Knicks history.
Mine as well.
He was ugly. I mean, these are two different things we're talking about.
All I'm saying is we're sitting here talking about another man's looks. Can we talk about some basketball?
Hey, listen, if you don't understand that there's something homoerotic about all professional sports, and I hate to bust the balls of every uptight dude out there, you're just not paying attention. I mean, whether it's short shorts, whether it's I don't know. We might have the first edit in the history of this podcast.
Did it just get awkward?
Only because my hand's on John's knee right now.
I'm glad I'm sitting to the right of John.
Back to the point guard situation. Puts Ingis, backs Uppus. Back to the point guard situation.
That's not my knee, by the way.
I want to go to the John compliment, or the JC compliment I wanted to give. And it's to what he noticed about Lopez this whole time. Lopez blocks out, and is a big part of why Porzingis.
He boxes out too.
What did I say? Blocks out? Box out?
You didn't have to go back. You could have just ignored me being a dick.
That's okay. You can be a dick.
He blocks out very well.
Yeah, so a lot of him doing that is the reason Porzingis is grabbing all these rebounds.
Blocks outis? Because he blocks it out?
So credit to John for noticing that, and credit to Lopez.
That was the scouting report on Robin, and Robin is as advertised at this point in the season. I think he had some sore knees still at the beginning of the season, and again, I think that's why having O'Quinn sitting on the bench, hopefully chomping at the bit, is not a terrible thing, because we're going to need somebody to play a little pivot down the line.
I think Lopez is a perfect complement to a player like Porzingis. Because we got
and Carmelo,
because we've got the two scorers at small forward and power forward, and Lopez is doing the dirty work to make sure those guys get those rebounds.
That brings me to a point.
Who are we talking about again? Which guy?
We're talking about Porzingis with no T.
I thought you were talking about your boy Lopez.
Lopez. Well, let's talk about Robin Lopez.
You didn't say his nickname yet.
Nerds. Nerds. Here's my feeling about nerds. He's been everything he was advertised to be with the blocking out, with the steady D, and Carmelo being known as a light defensive player. And again, I will say he's playing his best defense this year. He's stepping up. He's surrounded by good players. He's stepping up. But what I really am driving at here is Porzingis. He's doing both. I mean, this kid
playing both ends of the floor.
If this kid was scoring the 14 points he's scoring with 5 rebounds and no blocks and just shooting and a good percentage, he'd be Dirk in his rookie year, but we'd be completely happy with his development. It's just the opposite. He's a plus defender. He's a plus rebounder, and he's a plus scorer. We're going to get back to the possibility of him being named to the All-Star team this year. This is Beer and a Shot with the Butcher with the Knicks Talk Trio. See you in the second segment. Signing.
Second half coming back, mother lovers.
Out.